Cool. So several people are going to be joining up, some things like that, but I want to go ahead and dive in. I would drop this document over in a second. This is going to be an interesting workshop. This is going to be an interesting workshop because one, I do want to sit down and plan some things out with you guys, but there's also a lot of mindset that is included inside of this training. The actual concept of what we're talking about today is very, very simple, but there's lots of resistance around this topic. And I know because I was a fitness coach and like I am my own ideal client and I understand what comes with making offers. So today we're going to talk about, let's just dive into this. I'm going to skip to the very end of this training here in a second. We're going to start with how this whole thing is summarized up, and then we're going to jump back up to the top. So this is going to be an interesting one. All right, so this is the cadence, how to create momentum in your business. All right, so momentum is the most important thing that you should prioritize in your business. Having momentum versus not having momentum is two very, very different emotional, energetic states. Like when you're in momentum, things feel easy, life feels easy, business feels easy. It feels like things just come your way and like you're not even trying. And when you're out of momentum, it's like everything you're doing is just like 10 times harder. You can literally be doing the right things, but it's just like it feels a million times harder. And the results you're getting are like not good, right? So the difference between being in momentum and out of momentum are very different. The goal is like you don't have to do anything. The goal and what you want to do is you want to find momentum. And as soon as you get into it, you want to just hammer and you want to keep momentum. It's like basic physics, right? It's like objects in motion tend to stay in motion. Objects at rest tend to stay at rest. So getting something started is so much harder than just keeping it going. And the reason why so many people struggle is because they start and stop. They start and there's all this energy and momentum that has to go into something. And a lot of times, the thing that gets them to start is because bills are popping up and they're like, oh, fuck, like I'm broke and I need to make money. And so there's all this pain and reason and motivation to do it. Things start to take off and then they start to let off the pedal and it all falls apart. And so then they're right back in that same place where they have to execute out of force. They have to execute out of all of this energy just to try to get things going again. And so the reason most people struggle is because they're constantly starting and stopping, right? They start, they stop, they start, they stop, they start, they stop, which is why we talk about success loves speed so much. So we're going to be talking a lot about momentum today, all right? The idea behind this workshop, signing clients and filling your program is not a one-time event. Just like fitness, it's consistent daily actions that get you the results you're looking for. So there's not a magic post. There's not a magic, special marketing gimmicky player, whatever that we can run. And all of a sudden we got 50 clients in our program, right? Success loves speed. You need a workout routine, so to speak, for your business so that you know exactly what to do and how to do it. Success loves speed. It's a cadence and a rhythm. It's one thing to the next. This week you promote this thing. Next week you promote that thing. When you're in motion, when you follow a cadence, when you're in rhythm, success keeps repeating itself and you get the results you want, right? Which is speaking to how I even started all this of like keeping things in motion is so much easier than getting them started, right? So it's a rhythm and it's a cadence. Once you get into motion, you want to continue staying in motion. Once you get into cadence, you want to continue the cadence. Once you get into rhythm, you want to continue the rhythm, right? And that's why success loves speed. So let's jump down to the very bottom. And we're going to go back through this at the end of this. But I wanted to start here and like really make this a heavy hitter. All right. So winning is a forward energy. Losing is a backwards energy. Winning is a forward energy. Losing is a backward energy. The results you get are a reflection of who you are day in and day out. And the biggest thing holding people back is them waiting, in quotation marks, for things to fall in place and to make perfect sense before they move forward, right? So most people are just sitting. They're waiting. They're trying to figure things out. They're looking for clarity rather than just moving forward. So they're waiting for things to fall in place and for it to make perfect sense before they move forward. They're waiting to make offers when there's evidence that people will buy. They're waiting to promote themselves when the audience is quote unquote ready. They're not moving forward due to fear of things not working out. They decide, hey, I can't invest in programs and mentors and projects because like I'm not ready yet and it'll stretch me. Like these are the things that cost people time, money, and success, right? They're not moving forward. They're just waiting. They're looking for clarity. They're looking for certainty. And that just literally does not exist. So when you move forward, when you aren't ready or totally clear on how to work out, you experience success because that energy attracts opportunity. When you start making offers and you get excited about what it is you're building, you are seen by a leader for the clients who are actually wanting to work with you, but like they're just waiting for you to step up, right? They're waiting to see this big energy from you. Investing in things that challenge you and level you up and they match where you want to go. So when you invest in things that challenge you to level up and match where it is that you want to go rather than where you're currently at is when you get things so much quicker. So making moves only when it makes sense is basically predictable for losing energy, slowness, and a lack of growth, right? It's the reason why people don't get what they want. Moving when it doesn't always make sense is how you create momentum. It's how you get those like, oh, how the fuck are they getting those results, right? We've all seen those people. It's like, cool. People jump into business and boom, it's like 0 to 10K in 30 days. It's like, what the fuck were they doing? They were in momentum. They were taking massive fucking action, right? So stagnation is a myth. You're either growing or dying. You're moving forward or moving backwards. So you need to always know what your next move is while executing on your current one. You just need to pick something and go. The only way that you guarantee that you lose is if you stop. All right. So that's the wrapper on this entire training. Like I said, it's a heavy fucking hitter. This is all about momentum. This stuff is like after coaching so many people, doesn't matter if it's fitness, it doesn't matter if it's business. Like this is a universal, like these are universal truths. Like the people who are winning are just constantly in motion and moving forward. Because like the thing that makes most people stop is it's fear. Like they do something and it doesn't work. And so they just freak out and they just stop. Or they go to do something and they start to fear like, well, like, what if people think I'm being salesy? Or what if I put this out and I look like an idiot? Or what if I put this out and it doesn't work and then I've failed in front of everybody? Right? It's like they create reasons to not move forward. And like the only way to guarantee that you don't get what you want is to just not do anything. And that's the thing that happens to so many people. It's like they're looking for the 100% guarantees. If I do this, I will get results. But that's just like that's not like that doesn't exist. Like that literally doesn't exist. There's no 100% guaranteed move. And so what momentum looks like is momentum looks like taking action when you don't really know what it is you're doing, or you don't really know how it's going to look, or you don't really know like what the outcome is going to look like, but you just move forward anyways. And there's going to be things that are going to fail and there's going to be things that don't work. But like you're also going to get some that do work. Right? It's like I think one of the common like, cliche most go-to things is like just so true. It's like you can literally get into the Hall of Fame in baseball striking out, 7 out of 10 times you step up to bat. You fail 7 times, you're only successful 3 times. And you make it into the Hall of Fame and you're considered one of the all-time greats. Right? So momentum is just this piece of like you have to really understand it's an energetic state. It's a forward progress. Like the moment you start playing defense, the moment you start going backwards, the moment you start trying to like avoid having something bad happens is the moment you know that you've shifted into losing energy. You know that you're moving backwards and like you can flip that state. That's what I'm saying. It's like you can flip that state. You can maybe be like, oh fuck, like that is not the right frame to come at this from. And you can flip it around and you can get on the offense. So that's what we're going to talk about today. How do we get on the offense with our business? How do we get out there, move forward every single week? How do we move forward every single day? So as a reminder, the daily flow of promos and really the flow of like how we take someone from audience member to paying clients is this chart right here. All right. So daily promos, in other words, are what I'm going to start calling micro offers. All right. So this is like kind of a new word that I've not really been using, but micro offers is really what we're going to talk about. So from here on out, like when I'm referring to a micro offer, I'm talking about to a lot of the things that we talked about inside of the content client machine workshop, right? It's these like little micro offers. It's the lead magnets. It's the conversion events. I've also added in hard calls to action. So this chart's been updated a little bit. It looks a little bit different from the content client machine workshop. But this is like what we're talking about today. Is like how do we show up on our social media and just like be in business every single day? And not just like once a month when we're like finally muster up the courage to do a hard call to action. And not just like once a quarter when you're like, oh, well, like let me do my quarterly 21-day challenge. Or not just once a year when it's like, oh, let me do the Black Friday challenge. I'll give you guys some insight. Okay. This is interesting. This would be insight that you guys don't have. So I have literally been on hundreds, probably close to 750 calls with online fitness coaches, talking to them about their businesses and the things that are going on. And one of the most common problems that people tell me over and over and over and over and over again is, yeah, dude, like I did this 21-day challenge and like I got all these clients and there was like all this stuff and it was awesome. But now like I went from 12 clients last month to I've had 0 clients the last 2 months. And then like Black Friday was awesome and I got 12 people across the line, but now since then like I've just had nothing. And that's like the cycle that most fitness coaches and business owners are in. They're in this cycle of like, they actually put out an offer, right? They put out a 21-day challenge, they put out a hard call to action, and they get clients. But then there's this whole big like feast or famine, like desert mode where it's just like no offers are made, nothing is promoted, and like their business is just getting 0 traction. And it's because this training, like they don't understand this training, like they don't have daily offers that are being made. They don't have the content client machine. They don't have ways to go out and to drum up business and start conversations every single day. So we're going to map out. I'm actually going to haul through this. This is not going to be me ranting for 45 minutes. I'm going to haul through this because the majority of this workshop is actually going to be spent. I want us to go through. I'm going to give you guys access to this and I want us to actually plan out our next 90 days worth of offers. Right. So just as a reminder, this is kind of that flow. First, we create content, we capture attention. Then we promote micro offers, which we're going to plan out our next 90 days of micro offers. We promote these things daily using our content client machine to find people trying to solve problems. And then we book these folks in for calls and turn them into clients. Right. This is the business plan in 3 sentences. Content, micro offer, sales call. Content, micro offer, sales call. So where do we actually promote daily? Well, if you remember in the content and clients playbook, I talk about, we want to move from public to private. So if we're just getting on the timeline every single day, just be like, hey, I'm looking for clients. I'm looking for clients. I'm looking for clients. Like it's difficult and clunky. It's not what people log on, the timeline to see, whether it's Instagram or Facebook. Like that's not really what people are online to see. And so if you do it too often, it fatigues the audience. So what we're really looking to do is we're really looking to, start conversations on the timeline and then move them either to the DMs, stories, email list, private Facebook groups, private communities, or Zoom calls. Like these are going to be places where it's more comfortable to make offers. So we're also going to talk about this today as well, is like where should you be making daily offers? That's going to be something we're going to cover as well. How often should you make offers? You should make offers every single day. Right? So an identity question for yourself is you should ask yourself, how can I just become a person who wakes up and is doing business every single day? Not just like, how do I wake up and post some content and like hope some people see it? Not just like, how do I wake up and post some content and like try to get people to like me so that 3 weeks from now I can hopefully land a client? It's like, how do I just wake up every single day and just be a person that's in business and that's talking to people and that's generating leads and landing clients? Because that's the person that I would suggest you become. A person that just wakes up and it's who you are, it's what you do. You're a person who makes offers. You're a person who's here to build their business. You're a person who's here to help people. You're a person who's here to fill your program, because it's inside of our program where we can actually help people. Like, content is not that useful. It's not that valuable. The value is inside our program where we can actually help people. We can actually answer questions, and we can get them the resources and the support and the guidance that they need. So if you actually want to make an impact, if you actually want to make a difference, like, the best thing you can do is make offers and fucking sell people. Get them in your program, because that's where real transformation happens. So what offers do we make? Because again, you can't just be like, hey, I've got this program and I'm looking to land some clients today, right? You can do that, like, every so often, like, you totally put out like, hey, this is my program, I'm looking for clients, but like, you can't do that every single day. So you don't need to sell different programs. Instead, these micro offers, we just sell different parts of the core offer and the main program. So as a reminder, under the legacy offer, it's like we have one main program, but we have all these different tiers, right? There's many different parts inside of the legacy offer. So for most of the industry, they just have this one offer. It's just this big, boring thing that people tune out, because you can go out there and you can just post every single day, I'm looking for clients, and just promote this one big thing. Hey, big program, you should buy it. Big program, you should buy it. But it becomes boring and people tune it out. So what's different for us is we have one program, but we have many micro offers. We see like, hey, yeah, I do have this one big program, but then inside of it, I've got these grocery lists, and I've got these different cheat sheets, and I've got these different playbooks, I've got these different resources. And next Thursday, I'm hosting this masterclass, and then the following Tuesday, there's going to be a workshop. We see all the little small things we do as an individual offer that can be made and sold, or it can be given away for free as well. So we take the big boring thing and we break it into a whole bunch of small, little, fun, exciting things. And every single week, we just show up and highlight a different one. This week, we promote this. Next week, we promote that. The following week, we do a whole different thing. And this is how we create cadence and rhythm. It's just one thing to the next. Highlight this piece of the program, highlight this piece of the program, give away this piece of the program. We see all the little small pieces as opportunities to land clients, and not just the big thing as a whole. So tactically, this is what this looks like for me. It's like I have my one-to-one, right? Then below that, I have the arena, which is the community. Another offer that I have is the arena wait list. We're going to get into all this stuff here in a second, but I just want to show you a visual what this looks like. Then we have live workshops. So for the last week, or actually the last 4 days, I've been promoting this workshop and selling it for $100. I could have given it away for free as well. That's totally fine. I've also been selling workshop recordings. I can also take different recordings and workshops and ebooks and playbooks, and I can bundle them up, and maybe I sell it as an e-course. Maybe I say, hey, I've got this mini course on content creation. Like, who wants to get a hold of it? So, well, let's just like make this real. So Jared, who just joined, what was it, last night, he actually bought a workshop recording. He bought the legacy offer recording from what, like 2 or 3 months back. He bought that and he's like, hey, this is freaking dope. What's it look like to join the program? And now he's joined the program, right? So it's taking little small things and offering those as well. And then we also have free lead magnets. So like, for instance, I give away the DM script, the same one that all you guys use. I give that away like as a free lead magnet. So I've got all these different things inside my program, and I see these as individual ways to get clients. So I could do these all back to back to back to back to back, and it would be 7 weeks before I even like got back to the top of it. Right? It's so much cooler to be able to have all these different things than just to be like, hey, I've got this thing, who wants it? And then after like the 15th time, nobody wants it, right? So these are the 7 primary offers I make. The core offer is just your Google Doc. It's the community or the one-to-one, whichever one it is that you're like actively trying to grow. You can do workshops and masterclasses. Again, these are just trainings you're already doing for paid clients. So I think these are really fun. I was selling this workshop today to people, and I was just like, you know what? I don't even care if nobody buys because I'm going to do it anyways. When Thursday, 3 p.m. EST comes around, it's already going to be happening. So why not try to sell it? Why not try to get people in on it? Waitlist. So waitlist is going to be a whole new training I'm going to create. But if your legacy offer is not signing too well, or if it's selling too well, so you got too many people, or if it's selling too bad, you're not getting enough demand. Waitlist is a really good opportunity. We can talk more about that. Levels of access. So I could just be like, hey, I'm only selling community access right now. Or you could say, oh, I'm only selling one-to-one. We can recycle things. So like when you have one of these micro offers that works really well, rerun it. If you're like, hey, that thing works, well, you should probably do it again, right? And this is the most ideal. It's because like we want to do things that work. Again, bundle, we can put multiple things together and sell it as one big thing. We can pull them apart and sell them as separate things. And then we have lead magnets, which is just a free thing that we use to capture leads. And I just use client trainings. So these are the core offers, and we'll dig into this a little bit more inside of this worksheet specifically. But how do we actually sell it? So people tune out when they know what you're going to say next. And that's why this big, boring offer like doesn't sell very well. Because it's just predictable. It's just like, this guy's just got this one thing and he just talks about it all the time. So they tune you out because it's predictable. They know what you're going to say next. And that's why like I never promote something for more than 2 weeks in a row. So making offers and taking them down, also it signals to people like, oh, this thing goes away. So like if I want to get a hold of this, I need to grab it, right? So that's also another big piece with these micro offers is when you only have the one big thing to sell, there's no reason to buy now because it's just, it's the same thing he's been promoting for the last 6 months and it'll be the same thing he's promoting for the next 6 months. I'll just wait till next month when I have a little bit more money. And then next month comes, there's like a vacation coming. Like I'll just like wait till like August when things slow down. Man, like kids are back in school. It's kind of a busy time. Let me just wait. Maybe just like wait till the New Year's. But when you sell micro offers, it's like, hey, the workshop's happening on Thursday. Like if you want to get in on it, like you got to act now. So this creates speed and speed creates sales. So when you're in motion and you're taking action and you're living success loves speed, one thing to the next, and you're in rhythm and you're in cadence, you create sales. It's like, hey, I'm here and then I'm here and then I'm here. Like, do you want in or not? So success quite literally loves speed. Variety is the name of the game, but it can be hard sometimes. Fortunately, it doesn't have to be. Just give people a reason to buy now versus later is all that's needed to get people across the line. So you can have limited spots, one-on-one spots only. Maybe 1 week you add in a bonus coaching call. Maybe you add in like some sort of bonus workshop. Maybe you take away a bonus. Hey, this is the last time to hop in on this before this goes away forever. Maybe something again is never available, again. Take down at a certain date. So like, hey, the workshop's happening on Tuesday. Cool. Somebody knows they have to buy it before Tuesday because then it's happening, right? Periodic price increases, closing the doors at a certain date, seasonal urgencies. Maybe it's like a summer, hey, it's a summer shredding workshop. You can really just invent any sort of excuse, but you want to give people a reason to buy now versus later. That's one of the biggest things that I've learned over the years is that if you don't give people a reason to move forward today, they'll just continue to put it off. So we solve that by making these micro offers. And we do it 1 week and then we move on to something the next week and then we move on to something different the next week. And it creates urgency because if they don't buy it, it goes away. It's fine if they don't buy it, by the way. It's totally fine. But we just don't do maybes, right? So varying your micro offers. Remember I talked about I have those 7 core different offers I make. Giving people a reason to buy now versus later. Plus promoting these things daily equals $sign. All right, that's the formula here. Have different things going, give people a reason to buy it now versus later, promote these things daily, and then move on to the next thing. Cool thing is too, is like, maybe one week like the grocery list isn't for somebody, but like the next week the new thing is the workshop on the workout workshop is. So it gives you just like different cool ways to monetize your audience. So what this looks like in practice, let me go ahead and just share this and have you guys make a copy. Let me make sure this was cool. So grab that file, go to file, make a copy, and make one for yourself. So we're going to look at this and we're going to get some ideas, and then I'm going to... Do you guys want to stop and fill this out, or do you want me to keep going and then fill it out at the end? Which would you guys prefer, I guess? All right. Reed says keep going. So we're going to come back to this. Let's get through this like in the next like 5 or 10 minutes. All right. So how do we promote it? We don't need to spend a lot of time here because we talked about this in the content client machine, right? But again, I did just want to remind you, it's like, cool, you have something new to promote every single week. Content is needed to give context to the current micro offer. So if people don't understand like why this thing is important, if they don't understand how it's actually going to help them, they don't understand like why they should need it, then they're not going to want to get a hold of it. Even free things need to be quote unquote sold because it takes time, energy, and effort to read your ebook. It takes time, energy, and effort to watch your video. So everything needs to be approached with like kind of a selling mentality of like, you really have to sell people on even free things. Sell them on how it's going to help them and how it's going to benefit them and why they should want to watch it. So we sell people just using, normal authority content, social proof action post. Talk about the problem, talk about solutions, so show client results, tell stories. What do you personally believe to be true? What do you believe? What do you observe? How do you think about things differently? What's hiding in plain sight? Like what's stuff that you see as an expert that other people just don't see, right? These are all good content posts. These are all good ways to approach the stuff that you're putting out every single week. So what results do you have to use to prove to someone that you can get them that you can solve a specific problem? Insights and examples gathered through serving clients. What common struggles do you see? How do you actually approach them? Like, just don't hold back on letting people know that like, hey, I understand this is your problem. This is what you struggle with. And like, I've also got a solution, right? That's like literally what we're trying to do every single day. So here's different examples. Again, I'm not going to go through all these because this is literally a lot of what we talked about in the content client machine, but just, examples, we can post workshop, we can post promos on the timeline. We can post promos in our stories. We do have direct offers. Like sometimes we do just say, hey, we're looking for clients. We can, do value hooks, lead magnets. Here's a bunch of different examples. Example offers made in the DMs. Like every single day, we just need to be making offers. And here's like a swipe file of the top 12 DM openers, which again are just offers. It's just, hey, I've got this thing. Do you want to get a hold of it? So the way that you want to think about offers as we wrap this up, this is like the last section. The way that we want to think about offers, let me zoom in on this. And then let's get into workshop in this. Let me zoom in a little bit further. Cool. So the way that you want to think about offers is this is your audience, this is them, and this is your program. And it's like these are two separate worlds. It's like you've got all these people that follow you online, and then you've got this program, but it's like there's this weird in-between. And the in-between is an offer. The offer is how you get people from being on your social media to being in your program. So you've got these ideal clients, audience members, friends, followers, DM convos, email subscribers, community members, Like you have these people that are giving you time, energy, and attention. And then over here, you've got this program. And this program, it's like where all the solutions are and the problems you solve and the resources and the calls. It's where all your processes, it's where results are gotten, it's where support is given, it's where goals are achieved. And in the middle is you making daily offers. It's you saying, hey, I understand you and I understand this is your problem, and here's how I can help you. Is that something you would like help with? It's like with a golden question. Someone's telling you problems in the DMs. Is that something you would like help with? So we have to make offers daily. Otherwise, we're not really serving people by just leaving them right here. Like we need them in the program. So people who make consistent daily offers, this is kind of what it looks like is they build up this middle line and they create something that's like this strong foundation. Sometimes people don't respond to your offers immediately because they don't quite understand it. Sometimes it's like the third, fourth, fifth time around of you consistently talking about things before people start to actually react to it. Because like, first of all, it's like you go from making no offers to suddenly you're making offers. And people are like, whoa, wait a minute. What's this? This is new. This is different. Is this going to stick? Is this like there's kind of a bullshit detector. Like humans were really good at bullshit detecting. We don't really know what it is, but we can feel it. So a coach will go out and they'll just like start blasting the timeline and people are like, okay, cool, cool. And then 3 weeks later, all of a sudden they just stop and they're like, huh, okay. Actually, they don't even think that. People like don't think about us at all, right? I think a lot of times like we think people think about us and we let that hold us back and freak us out, but like people actually really aren't paying attention. But anyways, 3 weeks later you disappear and all of a sudden it's just like out of sight, out of mind. But if you're making offers and you're being consistent and you show up, even for instance, let's say like 90 days, it's like eventually people are like, okay, cool. I've been seeing this stuff every single day. This is making sense. He's been talking about this. He's been talking about this. He's been talking about this. She's talked about this a lot. This makes sense. You know what? Like maybe I should check it out and see what it is. And that's when they actually buy in and that's when they opt in and that's when they hop into something. But so often what people do is they start to go off on these little tangent, these red lines. They do something and then they're over here and then they're over there, like in a bad way, right? We talked about first you're here, then you're there is like cadence, kind of like in a good way. But they start to do this in a bad way. They start to be like, oh, nobody's engaging with this. Let me try this. Oh, nobody's engaging with this. Let me try that. They start chasing all the wrong things and they never actually build consistency. They never actually build routine. They never actually build up to the level where they start to see results. So much of this, the reason I said a lot of this is mindset is so much of this is like you have to lead and not waver. You have to just like set off in a direction and ride your own wave and ride your own hype and like not give a single flying motherfuck about what people think, how they're going to respond, what they're currently judging you about, what they're saying behind your back. It's like you literally have to step up and just lead and to get into cadence and to get into rhythm and just fucking go and then be consistent with it. Because that's the only way. It's literally just like fitness, right? It's like the clients that struggle in fitness are the ones that like they come in and they do it for a few days and they fall off. They come in, they do it for a few weeks, and then they disappear. And then there's you, jacked and fucking tan, and you're like, yeah, dude, I've been doing this for like 8 fucking years straight, 12 years straight, 20 years straight. And I never quit and I never gave up. And it's like, no wonder you have good results. Business is going to be the same way. Eric's the only one with his camera on, so I'm like, but you know what I mean? It's like, dude, it's the consistency over time. So it's like you want to build this middle line. It's just like, hey, dude, I understand this is who you are and this is the help that I can give you. I understand these are your problems and this is how I can help you every single day in some new way. So this is the last piece here. Daily offers progressively overload. The more offers you make, the more leads and clients you get. Right? This makes offers one of, if not, the most important activity that you can execute each and every day inside of your business. Making offers is how you communicate to your audience that you understand who they are, and it's you literally quite literally offering a solution. Offers are, here's this problem, here's my solution. Is that something you would be interested in? Is that something that would be helpful? Do you want that? So without offers, you don't get clients, because then people just sit on your social media. You can create all this content, that's cool, and you can build this big following, but like without an offer, all they do is they just sit there. Offers it's this middle piece between getting them off your social media to getting them in your program. So every single day we should make offers, because every single day we're trying to get people off our social media and into our program. So in marketing and sales, you as the business owner, you have to start the conversation, right? We can't just sit around and like wait and hope that people reach out to us. We call these convo starters offers. Your social media isn't something to monetize, right? It's something, your social media is a filtering mechanism that we're using to find the next 50 to 100 people who will get life-changing results and transform together with you. So a lot of times where this came from, this piece of insight is I see a lot of people that are worried about their social media and like being liked by everybody. And I especially see this with like the bigger accounts I talk to. I talked to a lady who had like 80,000 followers and she had no clients because she was like super scared to like say something and make people mad. It's like 50% of your audience is never going to buy. 45% will buy at some point, or they'll consider buying at some point, but only 5% are actually going to buy. And offers are how we find that 5%. This is like the only people I care about. Like I relatively don't care about my audience. The only people I really care about is these 5%. It's like who's actually here trying to do stuff. So I make offers because I'm open for business every day. I make offers because I have the perfect program for the right 5% of my audience. I make offers because I understand my ideal client has a problem and I also have the solution that they need. Offers are not a one-to-one relationship. So it's not, excuse me. It's not like you make one offer, you get one client. Like a lot of times it's like a 1 to 10 relationship. Meaning like you'll make a single offer, and as you get good at these and you do these consistently, you'll get like 10 plus new leads or clients from an offer. So over time, you know, with more offers, more reps, more experience, more awareness from your audience around like what it is you do and how you help people, it's not uncommon for a single offer to get you literally dozens, if not hundreds of leads and clients. In the beginning, it's kind of slow because people don't really know who you are and what you do. But then you do them consistently and all of a sudden more people are opting in. So when I look back over the years, like there's really only a few dozen posts that I can trace back to like literally 90% of my income. I post every single day, and I still literally have posts from 3 years ago that generate me leads every single day, which is wild. But if I didn't make those offers, I never would have got these few dozen posts that continue to pay off every day, right? So that's the power of a great offer. Likes ain't cash. Followers aren't clients. Offers are what builds your business. So the action steps for this workshop, let's go ahead and dive in, is let's plan out your next 90 days of offers. And then let's decide like where you're going to actually, you know, quote unquote, sell in private. Because this is going to be, yeah, important stuff. Anyways, let's dive into this worksheet over here. How to talk to a boy, because I feel like this all can transfer. I'm so confused, but that's hilarious. Cool. So let me just show you an example of like what this could actually look like. So I created this to be June 24th, which is starting next week. So the way I do this is every single week I have a single core offer that's my theme, and that's the core offer that I'm pushing that week. So for instance, this week I was pushing this workshop. And if you were watching my stories, you saw that every single day I was talking about this workshop. I posted about it a couple times on the timeline, but again, it's like we want to move from public to private. So places where you can make these daily offers is in the DMs. So I DM several people about the workshop. You can do them on stories. You can do them on email lists. So I've been growing my email list again. That's where I was making the majority of my offers. You can make them in Facebook groups, private communities, and Zoom calls. Timeline is like kind of a hard and clunky place to do it. I did make 1 or 2 posts on the timeline about it. But again, you can't get on the timeline every single day and be like, buy my shit, buy my shit, buy my shit. But these are places where offers, these are quote unquote private places where offers are more socially acceptable. So it's important to figure out like, which of these you would be able to show up consistently to. I would recommend DMs. DMs is like the fastest way to grow your business if you would like to do that. So I highly recommend that. And then probably picking one of these. But anyways, so for instance, let's say next week. Cool. So this week I did a workshop. So, and I also try not to go back to back. So I try not to do like the same thing, even if it's like different. I try not to do the same one like 2 weeks in a row. So let's say that next week, what would I like to do? Let's say next week I promote let's see, and before that I did the core offer. So let's say next week I'm going to promote a lead magnet. And the lead magnet that I'm going to create is, let's keep going and then we'll come back to this. So let's say that I do a lead magnet. Why now? I'm going to create a new lead magnet. Some of this you got to sit down and think about. I'm not sure what lead magnet I'm going to create. This is what I'm actually going to do, by the way. I'm actually going to create a lead magnet next week, so you guys can follow along, watch it. The specific lead magnet that I'm going to create is, I've been wanting to create a video and kind of introduce people to this like new business model that we've been kind of like executing on, this one person business model. So what I'm going to talk about, a reason why to buy it now, is it's going to be a new training. So it's not going to be like some old training that people have already purchased or not purchased, like not an old training that people are going to be re-downloading or whatever. It's going to be like a new training. And that's probably good enough. It's just going to be like, hey, it's a new training. Is that something you would want to get a hold of? My unique angle and big idea behind this one is I'm going to promote something new that I've never talked about. So I'm probably going to talk about the one person business model. It's going to be something new. It's going to be something unique, something people have never really heard from me. And so it's going to spark curiosity. People go, new training, one person business model. What is this? Yeah, dude, like I would like to get a hold of it. So that's going to be my plan for next week. And then all of my content is going to be around next week. All of my content is going to be around the one person business model. So when I show up and I post my authority content, my social proof content, when I post my character content, all of it's going to be thematically like moving in this direction. Does that make sense? Like I'm not going to go off and post about just like random shit. Like it's all going to be like it's going to be the theme for that week. I'm not going to go like post about like how to get good at sales and then go post about some DMs and then go post about some content. So like in fitness terms, it's going to be like this new training about my intermittent fasting method. So the content I'm going to create wouldn't be around why you should run and why you shouldn't do CrossFit and 3 reasons why you should bench press. Like it would all be about intermittent fasting. I would keep things on topic for the week. So then the following week, maybe what I'll do is I'll do a core offer. And so it's going to be like the doors. I've got 3 spots. Doors are open for 4 days and then they close again. And then the following week, I'll probably do another workshop. I haven't decided on the next workshop that I want to do yet, but like it's going to be, workshop is on Thursday. I can't sell it on Friday because the workshop like literally happened. It's like done and over. Then I might go into recycling. So I would love to recycle the lions versus sheep workshop. It was actually a recording, and it was my most popular workshop I've ever sold. So it probably makes sense for me to recycle it and resell it. So it's going to be like most popular workshop. It's going to be available for the next 5 days, and then it goes away. And then on the 22nd, maybe I'll promote a wait list, and I'll be like, doors are closed. Actually, I'll do that on the 29th. Yeah, actually, that'll be good. That'll be good. So I'll be like, doors are closed, but they open soon. If you'd like to be notified, like when the doors open, like let me know. Which will lead right into basically the beginning of the month, the beginning of August, where I can be like, hey, doors are open, 10 spots. I'll be like 10 spots for August. Are you guys kind of seeing like how this works? It's like you got to give people, first of all, you got to choose what your offer is going to be. Then you have to give people a reason to move forward with it. If applicable, like what's going to be the unique angle or the thing that you're going to push. And then this becomes your theme for the week. And then what I'm doing is I'm showing up and I'm making offers, daily offers in all of these places. So for example, like I show up on my stories. One place I make daily offers is on my stories. So if you've been watching my stories, let me zoom in even further. If you've been watching my stories, small offers sell more than big offers. So that would be my unique angle, my big idea. Somebody reads that and they go, huh, that's interesting. What the fuck is he talking about? Your program is what you deliver. The offer is how you promote it. Your program is just a stone in the wall, yada, yada, yada. I'm just selling the idea, telling them all about it. And I say, on today's email, I'm going to break down three fitness offer examples. Plus, I'll even tell you how you can get my help in mapping out your next 90 days of offers. Link in bio. So it's a call to action to like go do something. Stop being anxious about the future. A screenshot. Success loves speed. It's a cadence, a rhythm. Like I'm selling people on ideas. I'm telling them like, hey, this is the way I view things. This is how I believe things. Go click the link in my bio. Right? I'm just constantly making offers and asking people to go do things every single day. So, does anyone want to talk to me about their next 90 days worth of offers?
So, from my understanding, it's more so each week with the new offer, you're putting out content centered around the whatever the offer is. Every piece relates to that. And when you're DMing people with the offer, it's like as many as you can get through. And then the next week, it's just a different offer, as many as you can get through, just kind of rinse and repeat each week with a different offer.
Yeah, 100%. It's like restaurants give like restaurant or let's say like the grocery store. Like Walmart
Mm-hmm.
gives away coupons. Coupons are an offer. Every single week I get junk mail with different coupons, different offers. Like they're just trying to get me in the door to do business with me. So we should do the same thing in our fitness business. Like every single week we should have something we're promoting. But
Yeah.
most people, they're just never promoting anything except for just like very rarely, very occasionally, they'll finally be like, hey, I'm looking for 3 clients that want to do this in the next 90 days. And typically what happens is like they actually do get clients, but then it's just like right back to feast or famine where it's like, cool. And now they
Mm-hmm.
sit for the next 90 days until they finally ask people for clients again. Versus when you do things this way, it's like every single day, you're not directly asking people for to become a client, but every single day you're handing out like coupons and flyers, quote unquote, that lead to sales conversations, that leads to DM conversations, that leads to calls being booked, where we can then land clients.
I see. I
Does that
see.
make sense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So there's one like quote unquote hard sell, then there's a bunch of like soft sells in between that are still bringing in new leads who might want the big thing, but they don't know they want the big thing. So they look at the small thing that meets them where they're at and go from
Yeah,
there.
the small thing leads to the big thing.
Mhm.
And that's the intention with the small thing, by the way. That's why we take the small thing directly out of the big thing. Because if the small thing is directly out of the big thing, it naturally leads that way. Versus like again, sometimes people will get super caught off and they'll like uh let me scroll down here to this graphic. Sometimes people get super caught off and be like, oh, this isn't working. And then they just start to put out random shit. Like if I wanted to get a bunch of engagement, I would probably talk about like, I would put out an offer around like, hey, I've got these chat GPT prompts, like who wants them? And I bet I would get a ton of engagement, but like it would not be the right engagement for me. Cause like I don't do anything with chat GPT. Like I don't teach people on it. I don't provide prompts on it. I don't even use it in my own business really. So like it just would be an offer that would be out of alignment with me and it just wouldn't make sense and it wouldn't lead to any clients.
Mhm.
But if you're like, so a perfect example is let's say like you're a keto coach. Well, you should be making offers all around keto every single day of the week. And that way, when you get into conversations with someone, you know, they're like, oh, cool, like they're interested in keto. But like what a lot of people do is they'll start out with keto and then they'll be like, oh, like my engagement's not doing well or this or that. And then all of a sudden they're putting stuff out about, uh, some other random shit. Oh, like here's my yoga stuff or something. Like just they start chasing engagement. They start chasing likes. They start chasing followers or like whatever it is. And it just like it's no longer in alignment. But if we pull things directly out of our program and we make these micro offers, it's just like the natural next conversation is one about the big thing.
Mhm.
So the intention of making the small offer is to make the big offer. The small offer leads to the big offer. The other thing
Got
too
it.
is like smaller offers are easier to sell. It's really hard to sell people on the big thing just straight up. And that's what most people are doing, and that's why they're struggling so hard to get clients is they try to go from DM conversation to selling the big thing, and it's just much easier to have like a little small step in between. Like get them sold on the small thing and kind of bought in, get them to kind of consume the small thing and then be like, "Okay, you know what? That was actually helpful. Like what else does this person have?" It's kind of like dating. You go on a first date and a second date and a third date before you start talking about getting married and proposal. You don't go from, oh, hey, you're hot, let's get married. But that's what this just having the one offer, like that's what that is. And I'm sure if you did that enough, you would get married. But like, damn, it would take a lot of it would take a lot of approaching people to find that. But it's much easier just to do a bunch of small things and then lead to the big thing.
Mhm. Got it. That makes sense.
So you just like can't be scared to promote yourself every single day and just promote these small things.
Mhm.
Um, the fear is typically the biggest one I hear is people are afraid of being salesy, and I get it. People are also afraid of like putting things out and it doesn't work. And I think that fear comes from like several places. It's like one, failing in public can be embarrassing, so I get that. And the other thing too is like sometimes people put things out, it fails, and then they maybe realize they're not as good as what they thought they were. So there's kind of an ego hit as well. Um, and these are things that you have to like really push to the wayside and not get in your own way about. It's like you just got to get offers out every single week. And here's the other thing is a lot of your weeks are going to fail. Like I didn't sell any workshops this week, which was the first time that it ever happened. But I know it's because there's like lots of resistance to this idea in my market because it feels salesy. It really does. I get it. I get it. So there's like lots of resistance to this specific workshop for a lot of people I talk to. So my point being is like I put this out. I didn't make any sales on this workshop. Never had that happen before. So it's like you're gonna fail sometimes, but it's fine. It's like cool. Next week I'm right on to the next thing. Because the only way you guarantee you lose is if you stop. So I could just take this L this week and be like, fuck, dude, fuck. Like I failed. Like it didn't work. And like spiral, like, and then I just shut down. I just don't show up next week. But like that doesn't grow my business. That doesn't like there's nothing productive about that. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So that's why I'm like, the number one thing that I try to do with coaches is just like, what are we doing? What's the plan? What are we executing on? And it's not about if it's working. It's just about the fact that you have a plan and that you're executing on something because you're going to strike out sometimes, but you're also going to hit home runs sometimes. And sometimes you're going to get a base hit. Sometimes you're going to get a double. Like we can't guarantee outcomes and we can't guarantee timelines. We can't guarantee that we're going to get X amount of clients and make X amount of money at this certain date. But we're 100% in control of our energy and our inputs. And we can say, you know what, regardless of how this goes, I'm going to fucking show up this week and this is exactly what I'm going to do. And I'm committed to doing this. Like that is in your control. That's the only thing we can control. And then it's just a thing of, it's like just like the gym. It's like how many bad workouts do you have? Tons of them. How many mediocre workouts do you have? Tons of them. But over months and months and weeks and days, like you make progress.
See, see. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, I think it's for me, it's more on the case of being cool with there being weeks or releasing the tension around those. There might be weeks where you might not get the quote unquote desired result and just focus on the action, the cadence, like you say.
Dude, it's brutal. I will say this week was interesting for me of like I've been sitting outside a lot and like releasing a lot of what you're talking about, just like releasing stresses and fears and things. Like I've been doing that the last several months. And this week, even though it was failing, I never once like really felt any type of way about it. Instead, what I did is I was just like I led with curiosity. And I
Yeah.
just tried a whole bunch of different posts and different angles. I was like, huh, that's not really clicking. Let me try going this way. Let me try going this way. Let me try going this way. And I tried to just lead with curiosity and try to figure it out. Like ultimately, I didn't get it figured out. Like no tickets sold. Um,
Mhm.
so, but it just like is what it is. I don't know. Like, you are right though. It's like releasing that like fear of failure or what do you feel like it is for you? Like where do you feel like what's the negative emotion that comes up?
Yeah, it's just I guess the need for it to, I won't say hit right away. I think that's a bit reductive, but the need for it to immediately produce, and more so focusing on just testing, and kind of rest in the, I want to sound woo and shit, but resting in the understanding that shit's gonna be cool no matter what. And once you got that spot, it's like, okay, now you're free to test as much as you like. And like you said, shit may home run, shit may be a stinker, but either way, the point isn't. It's gonna sound crazy, but the point isn't to win. It's a process of winning, and that
Mm,
inevitably produces wins.
100%, dude. Two things off of that. I don't think you were here at the beginning, but I talked about it's much harder to get something rolling than it is to keep it going. So it's like that's,
Mm-hmm.
physics tells us like objects at rest
Right.
tend to stay at
Motion.
rest, objects in
Yeah.
motion tend to stay in motion. So the spot of like when you're trying to get momentum, you are 100% right. It is the most difficult part, which is why it's like it's so important to take this like sheet here so seriously of like once you do get it going, like don't stop. Like keep filling this
Yeah.
thing out and keep it rolling because it is so fucking hard to be in a place of needing because like the way the modern world works and the way uh finances and currency and like money works is it's given to the people who don't need it. Like
Yeah.
people talk about all the time, like the rich get richer, and it's like, yeah, dude, they fucking do because they don't need it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the way money literally works is you have to be totally detached from it. When you need it, it's the most difficult to get. And then you get to a place where you don't need it and it just like seems to flow towards you. And that is like
Mm-hmm.
that's why it's so hard to get something rolling. It is so hard. Um, and I say that from a place of like, dude, if anybody's there, like I freaking get it. Like it's hard. Like that is I've been in that place. It is super, super hard. Which is why like the best thing you can do is just like, cool. What's the offer? What's the plan this week?
Mm-hmm.
What's the offer? What's the plan? Show up, promote this thing, and get things rolling, And then once it's rolling, it's just like you just don't let it stop.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear it. It's real. Just lock in.
Yeah, 100%, dude. Do you have any ideas of what your offers are going to be, or even if you don't have the next 90 days, like do you have any ideas of the next couple weeks?
So one thing I'm doing with my clients, I'm restarting what we call our roundtables. It's basically our group calls, kind of like this, where we get on here, we'll discuss a certain topic people are having issues with. So what I might do is kind of similar to what you're doing, where I just open it up to, I guess, the audience, people on my Instagram, people on my Facebook, and have them join in and kind of get a glimpse of how we do things. And that if they like it, cool, come on, we can talk about it some more. And if not, it's cool. At least you got the experience, you got the game.
So this is the way I would promote that if I was you. I'm going to
Sure.
consider that a workshop, but you can call it like a masterclass or a roundtable, like whatever it is you want to talk about.
Yeah.
The reason why now is say that you have 10 free coaching spots
Mm-hmm.
up for grabs this week.
Mm-hmm.
And then the unique angle is on that coaching call, solve very specific, tangible problem. So it's going to be like, come to this call and get and walk away with this specific outcome. That would be like your unique angles. Like make it would be like an offer of like, even though it's free, it's not enough just to be like, hey, I've got this free coaching call. Like, who wants to show up and chat? It's like, hey, I've got 10 free
Yeah.
coaching spots this week. We're going to get together for 60 minutes. We're going to chat exactly about this that you can walk away knowing exactly how to achieve specific outcome.
Yeah.
This is a
Yeah.
good
That makes
offer, by the
sense.
way.
That makes
This is a good
sense.
offer. And then you can promote this on your stories. You can send DMs. If you have any like previous sales calls, previous discovery calls, people that no showed, these would be great people to reach out to and be like, hey, I've
Mm.
got 10 free spots available this week and get them to come to that call.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah.
times people just need to get in the room with you as a coach and get on a call with you and then they're
Hmm.
like, oh dude, I'm so sold.
Hmm. Yeah. The way I saw it in my head it's almost because typically when the calls happen with the people I coach, it's like the introducing themselves, saying what their wins are for the week, and then what I could do is I could just kind of they can be like a client for the people who are coming in like, hey, what are your wins for the week? So they feel like they're part of the community, and it's like I'm already there emotionally. Why not? Why not fully commit? I see what the vibes are like. Let me just go ahead and just do it for real.
Are you talking about like selling them on the call? Or are you saying like that's what will be happening in their mind?
In their mind, right? In their mind, they sell
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, no, 100%, 100%. The way I typically run these workshops, like if someone had purchased and showed up, I
Yeah.
basically say, "Hey, what's going on, guys? To all the guests today,
Mm-hmm.
we've got 3 spots available this week. If you'd like some
Mm-hmm.
more information on that, I'll typically drop over my legacy offer doc. I'll be like, here's information on that. Let's go
Mm-hmm.
ahead and jump into this call."
I
And
see. I see.
then I reach out to people after the call and I go, "Hey dude, like how was the call? Like what takeaways did you have? Like
Yeah.
yada yada yada." And just kind of start a conversation. And then from there, a lot of times, what I'd recommend is you book them in for a call.
Mm. See. I see.
But
I
you are
see.
right. It's like they see what it's like on the inside and they go, "Huh, I would like to be a part of this. This was pretty cool."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I'm doing that this week. Yeah. Setting some tier for accountability, I guess. But yeah, I'm doing that.
Yeah, the free coaching spots is actually a really good offer.
Sure.
You just want to make it super clear, like there's 10 free coaching spots for the call on Thursday, so that it's like, cool, that's the reason why now. It's like there's 10
Mhm.
and it's on Thursday. Like if I want it, I better hop in on it. And then
Yeah.
again, don't be afraid to message people. Be like, "Hey, we've chatted back and forth before. Thought this might be something you'd be interested in."
Mm. Cool. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, dude.
How would you bridge it if like, because I'm thinking of one-on-one master class or workshop or whatever. Um, so I would just be talking directly to them. But what if they are interested? Like, it's not a sales call, right? Like that's not what they're there for. So how would you do that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be I think it'd probably be the same thing. Is this going to be a purchased workshop or a free workshop masterclass?
I think I'm going to do it super low cost. I know I had mentioned before, hang on a second, like an appetite awareness, but I think it's like a summer meal prep masterclass. Like instead of selling them what they need, do what they want.
Mm-hmm. Do
Um,
you
what? Sorry, my boss is yelling at me.
do you still have a legacy offer in a Google Doc?
I do, yeah.
Cool. I would say just like at the beginning of the call, just be like, um, sales is only weird when people make it weird. So at the very beginning of the call, like they're probably coming into it being like, she's probably going to try to pitch me or sell me or something like, um, and so like at the very beginning, I would just be like, "Hey, what's going on? Excited to hop into this all. Like, obviously, I run a program, and that's like not what we're here to talk about today, but I did just want to get you some information on that. So here is actually a link to my program information. You can check that out like after this call, but I don't really want to spend any time talking about that on this call. I want to, make sure that we get the whole masterclass and everything covered. So that's the piece there is like you just tell her like I don't want to spend time talking about this, but I know that you're probably going to be interested. So like here's the information and we can talk about that like at another time. But like I want this to be a productive call. And then it's kind of a thing of like it kind of works in reverse. Like it's a little bit of reverse psychology there of like people are then like, well, dude, but like I actually kind of like, what the heck? Like she doesn't want to sell me. Like, oh, and then it's like, then they're thinking about it, which is kind of funny. But that's probably what I would do. Just be like, hey, obviously I have a program and all that, but like I really don't want to spend any time talking about that here today. Like I want to get into this. So here's information about my program. You know, you can hit me up another day if that's something that you want to talk about. And then just drop your Google Doc.
Okay, that's cool. Thank you.
And then at the very end too, you could still mention something again. Be like, cool. Well, hey, it was really good. Go through that Google Doc. Seems like there's a lot of good stuff here to work on. Go through that Google Doc, take a look at it, and if you have any more questions or anything, let me know. See ya. Hang up. And then I would like wait a day or two, and then I would probably proactively reach out and be like, "Hey, how's things been going since we, last chatted? Okay, awesome. Did you have a chance to look through that Google Doc at all and, check out the program, that kind of stuff?" Oh, okay, cool, cool. And now you're just off to a conversation.
That's good. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what's like sales and making offers is only weird if you make it weird. Like making daily offers at first is going to make you feel super salesy, probably, if that's like something you struggle with. Because you're like, dude, I am just like promoting myself every single day. And like, what if people just stop viewing my stories? And what if people just blah, 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 blah. But like, and maybe some people will, but when you understand like the bigger picture of what is actually, when you like see this for what it is, you just start to realize it's like, dude, if I actually want to help people, like the best thing I can do is overcome my fear of making offers, because if I don't make an offer, like they just never join my program. So, it's only weird if you make it weird. And then like eventually, like one thing that I've learned about business is it's about doing things that stress you out, just like in fitness, in like micro doses to a point where you like overload it and then it no longer stresses you out. Right? Like, and that's how you get stronger in the gym is like you do a certain weight and it it puts physical stress on your body. And then you overload it and you put more weight on, and that old weight like no longer affects you, or at least doesn't affect you as much. And making daily offers and growing your program and sending DMs and posting content every single day, like these are examples of like micro stressors that like at this point I've created content every day for 8 years. I sometimes forget that like there's people that struggle to even post daily. Like that's like doesn't make sense to me sometimes. And then I pull back and I'm like, but like there was a point when that did stress me out. But these days, like it's not like it's second nature. Like, and I don't even just post once a day. I mean, between my stories and my email and my Facebook feed and like everything, like I'm posting probably like 5 to 10 pieces of content a day. But I've built up and I've posted every single day for 8 years. And that's like why that, and I forget sometimes that like it's just a muscle. And signing clients is just a muscle. So if at first you feel a little bit of resistance, it's probably worth like, spending some time outside and figuring out like where's that coming from, just like sit with it. But then also like just know it's just like the gym. It's like over time it will no longer stress you out. So the identity question that I think has been a very powerful one for me. Where was it? The identity question that's been very powerful for me is just asking myself, like, how can I just become a person who wakes up and is doing business every single day? And I don't know if that like hits for other people the way it like hit for me, but like genuinely back in the day, I was scared to make offers because I was like, I might put out an offer and there'll be people that will get mad. Like if I put out that I'm looking for clients, I was like, there will be people that will get mad and they will unfollow me. And so I wouldn't put it out. And then I was like, another thing that came up for me was I was like, I'm scared to put out, hey, I'm looking for clients because there are other fitness coaches who follow me. And if a whole bunch of people don't comment on it, I'll look like an idiot or I'll look like a fraud in front of them. And so then I wouldn't put out that I was looking for clients. And then I was scared to send DMs and reach out to people because I was like, I don't really know what to say. And I'm like scared that like if I reach out to people, it'll be super salesy and super weird and people won't like me for that. And so then I wouldn't send DMs. But like none of those things are like none of those beliefs served me. So eventually I had to like rewrite those beliefs. Right. And it helps to like, you know, the other piece to it as well is like I actually learned how to do them properly. That's why like I've put so much attention to detail and like so much effort into our e-course. Because like that was shit that like genuinely stressed me the fuck out and I had to go like hire people to learn how to do. And it was skills that I had to acquire. And like I build our e-course and I go into so much depth about like DMs and follow up and the correct ways to do things and the correct ways to reach out to people because like I had tons of fears and misbeliefs around that stuff. And like I want to provide people with like everything they need to do it correctly so that they don't have to like experience those same things, if that makes sense. So like I had tons of resistance to sales. I had tons of resistance to these kind of conversations. And the identity that I've taken on is just like, dude, I fucking own a business. Like it's not fucking weird that I'm open for business. Like it's not weird that I'm looking for clients. I'm a business owner. Like no fucking shit I'm looking for clients. That's like quite literally what I'm supposed to be doing. And if that bothers someone, it kind of says more about them than it does about me. Like if I send a DM to someone and offer them something and they want to get mad, like especially in the field I'm in because I'm messaging other business owners, it's like cool, like I know for a fact you're not making money because like you're so fucking like pissed off about it. But like for your even for your like pulling it back to like you guys, same thing. You know what I mean? It's just like it says more about someone getting mad at you for doing something. Like it says more about them than it does about you. So I was just like, yeah, dude, like I'm a business owner. I don't know, like it's not weird that I'm looking for business. Like I don't wake up and rage against Starbucks. How fucking dare they sell coffee every day? What pieces of shit? You know what I mean? Like, but then for some reason, like it's easy to assume that identity as a coach. Well, we're just like, damn, I'm a piece of shit because I'm looking for a client today. Whether or not we say that verbally, that's kind of the mentality we're carrying when we're afraid to go out and do these things, right? We're kind of like, we're taking on like there's a subconscious belief somewhere that like it's bad the fact that we're trying to make money, that it's bad the fact that we're trying to get clients. But it's like that, I mean, that's quite literally the nature of a business. You know, the nature of a business is we are open for business. So, anyways, I digress. I might just be fucking ranting today. This was a fun workshop for me to create. I don't know if anybody else found like as much value, but I had a lot of fucking fun making this. Because this was definitely something that's given me a lot of resistance in the past.
No, this is all great stuff, Tel. Appreciate it. If you're wondering why I'm looking like this way, it's because my computer is kind of like half screen's broken, so I connected the HDMI cable, so I'm looking at my TV while my computer's up there. So,
I like it.
but so I was thinking I do got like a Florida trip for like a beach vacation in 2 weeks, the kind of the week of the 4th, so from 30th to the 6th. So I'm just trying to have a better, I guess, idea like what to do for like that week of June 24th. And I'm also trying to plan to have old content laid out and plan now for the week of the vacation, so I can just like schedule it or just post it and not have to worry about it too. So I guess I'm just trying to figure out like those two themes right now in the meantime with those 2 weeks, and then tackle it back up out there when I come back on the 8th.
Are you planning to work while you're on vacation, or are you not wanting to work?
No, I'm planning on the work. I'm planning on do some content while I'm at vacation too, whether it be on the beach or at the house or whatever the case may be.
Cool. Um, I mean, do you like want to take calls, like sales calls or anything? Or like are you more looking for like low maintenance mode? Like what do I need to do just to kind of get through it and not let off the gas?
Yeah, more of the second one, but I mean, if that does happen where I have to take sales calls, I would not be opposed to it as well. But more just to, keep the vehicle running for the meantime.
Dude, when in doubt, just drop a lead magnet.
Okay.
When in doubt, just take some resource that you have inside of your program, something like the big thing with offers is like when it comes directly from our program, it's stuff that already exists. It's stuff that you're already doing. Like I've had so much fun with the way we've been growing our business, like in this one person business model of like I'm selling access to a workshop. If nobody buys it, I don't fucking care because I'm doing the workshop anyways. And when I give away a lead magnet, if nobody opts into it, I don't care because I didn't go out and create anything. I just literally opened up my Google Drive and I found something I already had and I said, let me give this away today. And if there's new things that I want to give away because I need something fresh and new, it also challenges me to like, oh, cool. Like I need to be creating new resources for you guys anyways. Like that's part of what you pay me for. So it all kind of like works in tandem of like the better the program I make for you, the more things I have that I can sell. So it's like why it's like one of two things. It's like either create a new thing for your clients and then give that away, or just go find an old thing that you already have and give that away.
Okay.
That would
Gotcha.
probably be the first thing I'd do. And then I mean you could do back-to-back lead magnets if you wanted, or you could also do like you could do a looking for clients kind of thing as well. There's no right or wrong answer. The last thing that I had down here on this is like it's like just pick something and go. The only guaranteed way you lose is if you stop. I forgot to drop this over, by the way.
Yeah, because like what were you saying? Like talking from the past couple of calls we had, talk about like the one lead magnets was like the 5-step checklist for like
Yep.
restoring metabolism. I already kind of had like a couple scripts planned out based on that, so I might just finish the rest of the week, go into that for a lead magnet to post that one, and
Yep.
then for the next week I'll just have to figure out something else that I maybe might fall into the next step after restoring it or something along those lines. I have to think more about that. But that's what I was already kind of like thinking about moving forward.
When you are a when you are a cerebral person and you say things like I need to think about it, um, you need to just do. So like this is like a really like maybe oversimplified kind of like heuristic, but if you're a person who one of your go-to responses is like, oh, I need to like kind of think about it or whatever, you should more so just ask yourself like questions of like, how do I want it to feel? And then you should just take action. Like that's where the success loves speed thing comes from. Is like I'm a very cerebral person. And like the very worst thing that I can do is think about it. Because when I think, I just go in circles and I spiral. But it's more so like when I ask myself like questions that are not, so the heuristic is like if you're a person who's cerebral and you think a lot, you need to feel it and you need to just take action and you need to just go. And if you're a person who is primarily more like intuitive and like a feelings-based person, you probably should think about it. But for me, when it's just like, how do I want this to feel? I'm just like, it brings up whole different questions and it brings up whole different solutions. So if you're like, like I don't know, like I kind of want to like wake up and like I just want to feel like I don't have a, like I'm on vacation, so I don't want to feel like I've got a ton of stuff going on. I don't want to feel like I have to like work more than I get to relax, but like also, I do want to like work and make sure I take care of things. What would make most sense to be able to create that outcome? Why don't I just release a lead magnet, get some conversations rolling? I can sit on the beach, sit by the pool, slam a couple DMs back and forth with some people. If there's a call to be booked, sure, I'll like go inside and I'll take a call or whatever. But the feeling I'm looking for is one where I can like enjoy vacation and like that's what I would want. So like what would be the input or the like what would be the solution that would make sense for that? But like you probably do enough thinking is the point. And so you should just ask yourself like how do you want it to feel? And it brings up a whole different side of things that you probably never considered.
Nah, yeah, 100%. I mean, like I never really thought about like the cerebral part. So I mean, but like you just hit the nail on the head on that part. That's all I do is really just think about it. So then just like more just like how I feel.
Yeah, dude. I know it's kind of I don't know, it's kind of weird. I'm like sitting here telling a dude like how do you feel, dude? But I promise you like the more I ask myself those questions, especially when I know that I've done some thinking about it already, and I'm just like, dude, more thinking is not gonna lead me anywhere. Like it's just gonna, I'm literally just gonna end up getting more confused.
That's what it does. Nah, but I think I'm definitely gonna go that route. Just like you said, back to back lead magnets. I just now just have to plan the second lead magnet while I'm on vacation and just go from there.
Yeah, dude. So that would, if you get a couple lead magnets out, promote it a whole bunch of different ways, talk about it, get fucking excited about it, mention it a few times on the timeline, get on your stories. Cause again, like, you want to take into account the big piece of this conversation, like the actual tactical stuff to think about is where's the action steps? This right here. It's like we need to plan it, but then you also want to make daily offers in places where it like is acceptable. You can't just go on the timeline and just like blast this stuff like 24/7. You can post a couple times a week about your offer on the timeline. It's a little bit different. I see Sam on here. It's a little bit different for Twitter because Twitter is just like so fast action. You can pretty much make offers every single day on Twitter. Because they have a weird algorithm over there. It is a
Multiple, probably.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's Twitter is like you got to post like 20, 10, 20 times a day to even get seen once by somebody. It's wild. Um, but this is like the tactical part as well. Is like, so the ones that I personally use is I send DMs every single day with an offer. Hey, I've got this thing. Do you want to get a hold of it? I post on my stories. A lot of times what I've been doing is driving people to my email list because long term, that's where I want to get all my clients from. I want to wake up, write a 30-minute email, hit send, make sales, get clients. But that's like a 12-month, 24-month, like 3-year plan. So I use these three. I've had a Facebook group in the past. I've kind of not been using it as much. But but these are kind of like my 3 big ones where I make offers. So I don't know, like, have you seen my stories or anything at all? Like, seen how I've been using that? Like, pretty much every day I'm talking about something. Hey, I've got something. Do you want it?
Yeah, you always have a cigar in it too. It's always
Yeah.
funny. Uh,
um, I forget where the fuck I was going with all that. Oh, yeah, dude. No, I think that's great ideas because then, like, for 2 weeks, you'll basically generate leads, and then it would probably set you up perfect to. Have you done the 9-day content campaign?
no, not yet.
It'd probably be a perfect, on week 3. So, like, week 1 would be like, lead magnet, and then you could drop right in with that 9-day content campaign. And then you would reach out to all these leads you had generated, all these people that had started conversations, and you would talk to them. If there are some. That's the other thing too. Like, I want to like really, really, really reiterate, like, I'm trying to like under promise, over deliver. It's more important to take away the mentality and mindset behind all this stuff and not be attached to like any sort of outcomes,
Mhm.
because outcomes are 100% out of our control. Outcomes and timelines we cannot control. The only thing we can control is the inputs. So the only thing we can do is like just figure out our cadence, figure out our rhythm, and then just literally don't fucking stop.
No, and that's where it's like gonna be at right there for me because like the cadence, like understanding, because it's like it's one thing to just post, but it's like another thing too is like what you post about, like what's the meaning behind it. Now it's just like with like the just planning around that now, and I can just generate different posts and like tailor to what it's gonna be for this week and things like that. Like I was always kind of I'm already kind of planning ahead too. Is like sometimes like it was funny how you were just talking about Starbucks. I was just thinking about like iced coffee, and like I was just kind of like going through like the meal plans that you said that Alli gave like through the 6 week content. And what I was thinking is like maybe probably just like record a video like going to Starbucks get like an iced coffee and just making your own protein iced coffee at home and just explain the difference stuff like that too. You just trying to lose weight for the summer and things like
Dude,
that.
100%. Stuff like that works so well. Where it's just like, oh, here's like my go-to low calorie Starbucks drinks. And then maybe you release one, and you're like, hey, do you like these? Do you like Starbucks? Like, here's my top 5 at-home Starbucks recipes at, 100 calories or less or whatever. 100%. Stuff like that, dude. Stuff like that pops. We've had like some of the best value hooks, honestly, have came from like in the program came from like women in their 40s, because like everything is just like, who wants my Chick-fil-A cheat sheet? And all these ladies are like, fuck yeah, give me that shit, like like people love that stuff. And then you'll get people that come in that are like, have this like super high level, and it's like legit as fuck stuff. But it's like, dude, people want easy, they want magic pills, they want like, like if there was, well, I guess they're kind of, I'll say if there's a magic pill you could take that would help you lose weight, and I was like, well, I guess there's Ozempic. So like, like you just have to look at that and understand the nature of the beast you're playing with.
Now,
Uh,
most definitely. Because like I did like a content where like I did like a Chick-fil-A once, and I was like Vanilla Ice as the other person, things that, and like it was a big hit and things like that too. And like a lot of people were like asking like, can you do like for like Texas, the big thing is like Whataburger. So I might
oh
just
yeah,
like do different restaurants for like different like I guess like themes, I guess in a sense, but like still use Vanilla Ice as like that second character and
dude,
things that.
do
It's like this is
do
how I look like.
shitloads of that stuff, dude. And let's say you get like, let's say like over the course of it, you get 15 people who want this one, and then you get 30 people who want this one, and then you get 10 people who want this one. Like all of a sudden, right here, you have, 55 leads. And then the next week you come in and you say, hey, I'm looking for 3 clients. You go hit up all these people because they're interested in stuff, and you say, hey, I'm looking for 3 clients this week who want to achieve XY result in the next 90 days. Is that something you'd like some more information on? And they say yes. Now you're in conversation with them. You book them in for a call and you land a client. And then you just rinse and repeat. And that's like what these cadences is all about, is it's like you do something one week and you get 10 people, and then you do something the next week and you get 15 people. And like just over time, you build this big list of people, and you have this, like, this is where I would consider this stuff a pipeline. Now all of a sudden you're like, dude, I've got this pipeline where I've got like 300 people in it. In any given month, I'm just looking for 3, 4, 5 of these people to go over the line. So it's like, does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Like the way I look at it is like I have my audience. I have what I consider, like, I would call it, like, the business term is a pipeline, but it's like the interested people who have like interacted with me in some sort of way beyond like just hitting the follow button. And then I have like sales calls, and then I have my program. And so like I post offers to find, so I post an offer to 1,000, 10,000 people, and then I get, 100 people that are 1,000 people that are interested, and 100 of them book in calls, and 25 of them become clients. Now, like, that's probably not going to happen in like a week or a month or whatever, but like this would kind of be an example of like numbers. But like so many people would look back here and they're like super fucking worried about these people, and like, well, these people aren't liking my content, and what are they thinking? Like, and if I put it out, it's like super salesy, and it's like, no, dude, like, I'm just looking for these 25 people. These are like the only people I care about. I just like genuinely don't give a fuck about these people. I don't mean that like in a condescending, like degrading way. It's just like, these people are not paying me money. They're not paying my bills. Like they have very little like space in my brain, which is why I'm just like, I make offers, and if somebody doesn't want it, or somebody wants to get mad, or somebody wants to unfollow me, like when I send DMs, like the other day I had somebody say something nasty to me in the DMs, and I was just like, dude, I just don't fucking care. It just like doesn't bother me. It used to bother me super bad. But then I sent, 15,000 fucking DMs, and it just like no longer bothers me. Cause I'm just like, this is the only people that I care about. So I like your idea, dude. Put out some lead magnets, find the people that are interested. Now we've went from your 1,000 followers down to, hey, here's 30 people who seem to be kind of interested in some stuff. Let's start building meaningful relationships with them. Let's stay in contact at least once a month. Let's send them new resources. Let's offer them, we talked about the free coaching call. Just do anything and everything we can to nurture those 30 people. If you need some more help and ideas on that, that is what predictable pipeline is all about. I have the bulldozer follow-up plan, but in this follow-up playbook, this is a banger of a playbook. This is 28 pages on nothing but follow-up. But down here at the bottom, I give you 14 different ways, I believe, to follow up with people and to just like never let relationships die ever again. So I said I don't care about people. Like, this is actually, I don't really care about the audience, but the pipeline I do care about. So cool, I've whittled it down to 300 people. I stay in touch with these 300 people, and these are the people who become clients. So the minute somebody opts in for something, like the big reason I'm making these offers is like I'm trying to find the people who are serious. And the minute somebody opts into something, it's just like, you're just like never gonna, the only way you're getting rid of me is like when you block me. Like, I bet some of you guys, if you would go back and look at our DM conversations, I've probably been talking to you for 2 or 3 years. So I talk about that in here, like long-term, like follow-up stuff and all that kind of. So that's the other part, is like a lot of people think they need a whole bunch of leads, and it's like, dude, you don't need very many leads. It's that people underestimate, like everybody, the go-to like numbers is people are like, oh, it's going to take, 7 to 12 follow-ups before somebody becomes a client. Well, if you follow up with people once a month, it's like, it might take you 6 to 12 months to get someone over. Now, that's not like a hard and fast rule. I've had people sign up with me 48 hours into following me. But that's the whole thing, is like you're trying to catch the whole spectrum of people, right? The way I see it is it's just like time is going to go whether I do anything about it or not. Like 12 months from now is coming, and that person's going to sign up for a program, and it's either going to be mine or it's going to be my competitors. So that's like why I follow up. But anyways, I'm now getting like way off in the weeds on different shit. It's like generate leads, activate leads, convert them.
That all makes sense. I appreciate it.
Dude, yeah. You've been crushing it, dude. It's been good to see you showing up to calls.
Yeah, been trying, especially on Thursdays, to see the time.
Oh, looks like his computer died. Cool. Any other questions or anything, guys?
No, that was good. I was kind of in and out on this call, but just being able to, I think like since joining up this time around, I've gotten a lot more comfortable with just pumping offers out
Yep.
versus kind of being the nice guy on the timeline. And if that means less engagement, that's fine. So just developing that mindset's good.
Dude, I think also like when we all like first got into this, like we were also like a bunch of young dudes. I think age has a part to that. I think you start to just like not give a fuck, and then it's like you've got a family and you're just like, dude, I got mouths to feed. Like if
Yeah,
fucking little Joey with his 8-inch arms wants to get mad, he can go kick rocks, you know?
exactly. Like it's the same thing. Like I think you just mentioned it. It's you were like, if somebody gets mad, it's like, well, you know that they're not making any money. And like if somebody gets mad at me for offering them stuff all the time, it's like you're a fucking weak pissant anyway. So
Yeah.
like you need my help. And if
Yeah.
you don't want it, then fuck you. So
Yeah.
it's kind of it's the same thing. But yeah, I've gotten a lot more comfortable with that and kind of getting in a rhythm on it. Um, blasting stuff out. I really liked your idea last night in the group chat of like instead of that big kind of content, I mean that big like programming audit, just doing it for like one lift.
Yep.
So I'm gonna start pumping that out and I don't know, sell them for a reasonable rate or something. I don't know. Or just maybe do one free every now and again. See what happens.
Yeah, dude. I had when I read it, I actually did have a couple ideas. So the first one is like I think the specificity that so the pulling it down does like a couple things. One, it's like smaller promises are easier to keep. Um like the most successful things are typically almost so like brain dead simple that you're just like it almost makes you like a little bit nihilist of you're like, dude, I've got all this stuff and it's so good and everybody just wants this one. Like I did this one so dumb low IQ thing one time and just everybody wanted it. And you're like, dude, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Um, so like literally like making it smaller, I think will be like, because it's just less overwhelming. It's easier to digest. It's easier to understand. I've started viewing like a helpful analogy for me has just been like my program is this brick wall, and like my program is this, and just starting to view all the offers is like cool, like this is an offer, and this is an offer, and just starting to view it like a brick wall. And I'm just like the best offers are just a single brick. And when I've like struggled the most is when I've tried to combine like 6 bricks and be like, hey, I'm selling this thing and it's going to be super valuable. And like it actually is. But I think people are just like naturally a little bit skeptical, and it's just like too much. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, really? Can you really pull all that off? So that's like the first thing, is like smaller offers. Then you can also, because you make it smaller, you can get more specific with it. Because you're like, dude, I'm just going to focus on your deadlifts, and I'm going to help you add 25 pounds to the bar next session. Yeah, I think I think that's pretty believable. I think most people that would be hopping on a coaching call like that, you could help them add shit. I mean, you probably honestly help them add like 50 pounds.
Fucking more than that most of the
Yeah.
time. Yeah. With
I
just
mean,
like two things. So
I remember people coming to Kings Barbell and being like, yeah, dude, like, 385 was my 1 rep max, and he hits it for 5 reps. And you're like, what the fuck, dude? You know what I
yeah.
mean? Just like, so smaller offers are easier to keep. You can then get more specific with it. And then the other thing is, the reason we sell the small offer is like with the intentions of selling the big offer.
Yeah.
So I would be interested to I'll be interested to see kind of what the response is, but I would maybe avoid angles of like, so if you don't want to hire me as a coach and you just want to spend a little bit of money, this could be a good option for you, because then you might actually get what you asked for, is like a bunch of people that don't want to hire you. And instead, like, the angle could just be like, hey, I've got some extra time. I've got some extra coaching spots available this week. Here's what it is. It's a 30-minute slot. We're going to take a look at your deadlift. I'll help you add 25 pounds to the bar, by your next session. And making the reason why now being more like, hey, I've got some extra spots available. You went the right direction. You were like intuitively picking up on like, there needs to be a reason for this. But maybe take like a position that would actually be more beneficial for you.
Yeah. I can't remember what I exactly said, but I think I might have said if you don't want to do coaching. I
Yeah.
can't remember.
It was
Something like
something
that.
along that lines, but
It was yeah, definitely something like that where
I like the way you're
you can
thinking
see
with it
that kind
though.
of going exactly how you say, like, oh, somebody does just want the one-off thing. However, that's still better than,
Oh, dude, it's good to have
you know,
something out there. 100%.
yeah.
100%.
Oh, okay, yeah. I said this is great if you want specific guidance but don't have the means or desire to work with the coach long term. And now that you said that, it's like that was stupid to put in there.
But dude,
But
that's just the name of
yeah,
the game, you put
for
some things
sure.
out, and but like you were picking up on, I like the there's like an intuitive like instinct there, like to keep tapping into. You're like realizing like, I kind of need to explain to people why I'm doing this, which is
Yeah,
like the why now, like, why am I doing this? So the direction in the frame was actually all correct.
yeah.
We can just
I,
like
I
click
think
on.
I think it'll be a good one to just have available.
100%. And you
It could
can,
be like like I said it last night, it could be a good just bridge from like a DM combo. Like, hey, like this is what I do, like this is something that I do, and then we can kind of go from there versus trying to sell them into the program immediately, you know?
dude, yeah.
It's kind of like a paid consultation, which again, I've said it like I think that could play out pretty good. And I've done it a little bit in the gym here before, like your the initial consultations X amount come in and it works out pretty good because they have some skin in the game going into the call. They'll
Yep.
fucking pay attention. So anyway, go ahead.
No, dude, you're going right down the path that I was.
It's the same thing you're doing with selling like the workshop slots. So
100%. The
yeah,
way
it
the
makes
way
the
I've
conversation after so much easier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's 100%. The way I've done things in the past was I did the free thing, and then I sold the expensive thing.
Yep.
And now what I'm doing is, it's like free thing, It's low ticket thing. It's low ticket community. It's high ticket one-to-one. And then like my end goals eventually is to do partnerships. But now it's just like, and Russell Brunson talks about this. So this is like not anything that I've invented, but this is just like a value ladder. It's like, cool, you know, things kind of work their way up, and going from free thing to expensive thing works. Like it's how we all like build our businesses, and it's like what I used to like really teach people. It's what I always did. It's just super inefficient. It's inefficient from a perspective of you got to talk to like not many people are a perfect fit for the expensive thing. And there's actually people that are a good fit for the expensive thing, but the jump is just so big and so abrupt that they can't really make that leap. It's just too big of a leap all at once, even though they would be a good fit. Doing things this way, it's just kind of like, you're right. It's just kind of like people kind of just ease into things. They check some things out. There's some different levels. You can do this, you can do that. Like this has just been a lot more, this has been a lot more, I hate using the word easy because there's been lots of ways where it's been more difficult. But from like a sales perspective, it's been more simple to sell and more simple to deliver. And it's tapped into a wider pocket of my audience because I now have more ways that I can help people. Some people, like we have a coach that basically has made it known that he's like pretty much only ever just going to come to workshops, and he's not interested in being becoming a client. It's like, cool, that's fine, whatever. I'll make a couple extra $100 here and there every single month because they want to show up to some workshops, and
Fair enough. Yeah.
yeah, at least my stuff's getting put to good use, you know. Basically the thing that I ultimately came to with this model was it's super inefficient and ineffective from I don't know who's drawing, but it's hilarious.
Yo, that's my fault. I was just trying to zoom in to see on my phone. My bad.
I thought you were just doodling while you were talking.
Yeah. With the free to expensive thing, the ultimate like line in the sand for me was the only real way to scale this. It's so inefficient, like lead wise and audience wise. You are forced to build a team if you like want to go big with it. There's like no way to scale this model like very far at all on your own. You need to get setters because you're going to have to be sending like hundreds of DMs a day. You're going to have to be booking in so many sales calls that you're going to need closers eventually. You're going to be forced to run ads because now you've got a sales team. You have to keep their calendar full. Well, now you've got all these coaches. Cool, to keep a closer's mouth fed, to keep a setter's mouth fed, you need to be landing like 6 to 8 clients a week. So now you've got this huge fucking client intake. You're forced to get coaches, all of that, and now you've got this huge payroll. And you might be getting more clients and you might be making more money, but you're also spending a lot more as well. And so basically what ends up happening, and I was oblivious to all this until like I started joining all these big masterminds, and I'm in there with 7, 8, 9-figure business owners, and I'm finding out that I'm literally taking home more money than them. Not even joking. They're working on like 15% margins. They're stressed the fuck out. They got clients leaving left and right. They're pissing people off. They have to start making all these big, bold claims because it's the only way to get people to book in calls. And I was just like, dude, that is like not what I'm trying to build over here. Nothing against that. Like this is like the Hormozy game. I love Hormozy, but like this is his game, and like he clearly figured out how to dominate that. And I don't know, there's been like lawsuits and shit against them and all kinds of stuff. So like I don't know. It's like it just comes with its territory of like, if you want to play that game. But I was just like, dude, that is not what I'm trying to do. Like I'm trying to like have fun with my business, and I'm trying to like actually take some money home. And uh the last piece on that as well is I was just like, I didn't see this being a very viable path for fitness coaches. It's like not many fitness coaches I know that truly understand this is what it turns into, and that's like the lifestyle they want. And so then I was like, it kind of feels incongruent and feels a little bit I just kind of felt like shit about it. I was like, if that's the path I'm leading them down, and I know that it's not a path that they ultimately want to go to, then I was like, that kind of fucking sucks for me. So then I started losing conviction in it. That's why I love this over here, because it's just, it's a product driven business. Like I make sales and I'm rewarded for building a better program because I monetize my client delivery. I monetize workshops. I'm using, recordings to get more clients. I'm using assets I'm creating for you guys, like as lead magnets and things like that. Like it's a product driven business. So it's philosophically completely different. It's like this over here is 95% sales, 5% client delivery. This over here is like 5% sales, 95% client delivery. It's just literally like you just make a better product and you sign more clients. So
I
anyway,
found it so much easier to get people on board doing this type of thing with like my change in content recently. And I just think that like that first kind of the free stuff to the expensive offer, it's like, hey, here's this PDF. Oh, let's DM script, let's do a DM thing, and then let's hop on a call and ask for money on a big giant program. And there's kind of like what the fucks, whereas they can kind of work themselves through and kind of their journey with you as you're going through those different things. They get more access to your stuff, get to know you better, and
yep.
get to know that you're not just like a nice guy, like you're actually a professional that can help them. And then the sales calls are fucking easy. It's not even really a sales call. It's like, all right, dude, here's what you've been doing. Here's what we're going to do. Here's the link to turnkey coach for your programming. I'll see you on the onboard call. Let's fucking go. It's
Yeah.
been a lot easier that way for me recently. So, yeah.
Dude, I'm glad to hear that. I'm
Yeah.
glad to hear that because that's been my experience. There's been like some of the difficult parts is now it's like because before it was like you just had to be really good at sales. I'm starting to realize like this one over here, like you do kind of need the skill is like really one of marketing. Hey, good to see you, Ashley. So I'm seeing like the skill of like marketing really has to be better over here, but I'm fine with that. Like I'd rather get better at content creation than having to like, fucking drag Susie through the dirt for her ever last dollar to get her to sign up. Um, and the other thing's been interesting is client success has been a little bit different as well, especially with the community thing being a little bit more like hands off. That's been interesting. It's been very like polar opposite ends of the spectrum. Someone either like stays in the program, they're good to go, or they leave in like the first week.
Yeah.
It's been very like polar. It's been very polar ends of the spectrum. I've never experienced that ever in coaching. So been working through some of that stuff as well. But the sales, that's a whole different problem, right? That's like a client delivery, client success. I agree with you. Like the sales side of stuff has been way more simple.
Yeah,
So
this process, it kind of just does all the selling for you up front. And it's
yeah,
kind of more fun, like popping off on the timeline about all the different ways people are, all the different problems they have. It just makes the content so much better. Uh,
dude, cycling offers has been fun from the standpoint of like, I
yeah.
kind of have a little bit of like shiny object syndrome. So it's like, it kind of feeds into that. I'm like, dude, every single week I'm doing something new, you know? So it's like, it's been fun and novel from that standpoint. And I've been like, I don't know, has anybody else been doing like any workshops or anything like that? Like I want to put out a training. I'm probably going to call it like the workshop, and I'll just like lay out the actual like process of these workshops and like how to do them and everything. Um, dude, I've had so much fun doing these. Like when they sell, like obviously today's didn't sell. It was the first one, so I'm gonna go back and like figure out why that was. But when they do, like people show up to them and they hit me up after and they want to become a client. Like not even wanting to get on a sales call with me. Like they're just like, hey dude, like how do I join? I'm like, here's the link. And they're like, okay, cool, dude, I'm in. Booked in a call for Thursday. I'm like, shit, dude. Like now I'm
Cool.
like not even taking sales calls on some of these. So it's like it's pretty crazy. So have you done any workshops or anything, or is that
No, I think that's something that I'll work into. Um, it would be good though. Like everything that I'm talking about with those like one-off session things could easily just be a workshop where multiple people come. Um, I just haven't played with it yet.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear it's been going well, dude. That's exciting.
Yeah. And I like the Excel sheet you just posted in here for actually planning it out instead of just like, all right, it's fucking Monday. Let's see what I'm going to talk about this week. So I can actually plan it out ahead, which will be good too. So yeah.
Yeah, 100%. That's typically how I've always done things in the past. And results vary.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know, results vary. So, yeah, dude.
All right, man. I'm going to hop off. This is good.
Cool. I think me too, guys. It's been a long one. Let me check. Let's see. Okay, Ashley said she had to go. Thanks. Cool. Well, hey guys, good workshop here, and see you over in the chat. Peace.